Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to TMP Finance, where we make long and short-term investing simple. And today we're going to take a look at the NASDAQ. We're also going to take a look at a couple stocks that have some really important price action that you can take advantage of very, very quickly. So let's just take a look at that, starting off with the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ, after its bullish Google earnings and its slightly bearish Tesla earnings, Tesla still beat their earnings, but it didn't have a very good play out. They moved down about 9% at the peak of the move down. The market kind of played a tug of war today, and that's why we only moved down 0.07%. We just barely moved at all. And I'm still very bullish on the NASDAQ. We're in all-time high territory, and that's the best territory for a bull market. That's going to get most of these green days here and these great long trade setups here. So even though we didn't move up today, I am still very bullish that what I called happened, where we got this move up, this retest of the support line over here, and then a move higher. So I definitely think that we can see something like 24,000 in the near-term future. I want to say about in a week or 2 weeks. And I definitely think that this is a great time for you to keep your positions open, count up all of those earnings that are coming from your trades there, and not closing them short until you have a real reason to close them. So that being said, keeping those positions open, I'm going to get a little bit cautious if we break below this 22,885 line, and I'm looking for a retest then of the previous all-time highs over here at 22,100, and I will get risk off holding cash or shorting the market if we do break below that line there. But right now, what am I expecting here for all-time highs? Well, you know what? It's hard to say, and I don't think that's something that anybody can predict for the most part. Let's just take a look here. The market dropped down a total of, let's see here, from this all-time high down to the bottom, it dropped down 25% there. And a similar pullback can be seen if we move down to 2020. And let's just navigate 2020 on my charts here. And over here in 2020, we had this very short but very volatile move to the downside as well, just like how we had earlier this year of about 30%, closing down about 28%. So very, very similar to the pullback recently. And from there, let's just take a look at how high all-time highs went before a significant lower low. And let's just see here, a total of 70%. So if you think that, a psychological number and I think it's going to bounce off, or, oh no, there's tariffs or stuff. Do you think that in, let's see here, 2 years of trading, there was no bearish news? I highly doubt that. Again, news does not move the markets. The markets are extremely emotional and they are extremely calculated as well from these big institutions. So trying to find logic within the market is not a great idea. And that's why I say the only logic that you should be looking for is a very bearish sign in the market. And how could we have seen this bearish sign over here to call it take profit? Well, let's just see. You have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attempts of trying to break up this higher high and a huge fail, stagnating market, and then you have a break of lower lows and 2 lower lows actually here and here, and that's definitely when you could have called a bear market and closed your position. And you know what? Even though you would have missed out on, let's see how much downside here. Of course, you could have closed your trade here. You would have missed out on an extra 12% profit. Selling here is still so much better than selling, let's say, somewhere like this, where you have a big red candle, and that could scare a lot of people that the market's moving lower. But instead of making, instead of staying true to your price action trading and making a total of, let's say, 46%, if you were very fearful and just taking out money because you think that you made enough, you would have made only about 25%. So that's almost half. So again, cutting yourself short is really what's going to take your loss. And again, you don't want to be greedy when you're trading, but you just want to be logical and absent of fear when you're trading as well. So only closing the position when you see something significant. Let's take a look at the heat map for all the other stocks. And it's been a pretty green day. Nvidia, Google, Microsoft, all moving up very nicely. Apple, stagnant. Who could have guessed, huh? And then you have Tesla that didn't have a very good performance after earnings. They moved down 8%, 8.2% at the end of the day here. Speaking about Tesla, I called this position here, and this would have been called on July 21st. And I said that, you know what, we have this trend here where we're getting tighter and tighter. We're bouncing off these support and resistance lines. And the most probable scenario with the best risk to reward ratio would be shorting the market. And Tesla doesn't move logically, so I'm not going to say that, oh, because we're up here, it's going to break up. It could have. And I'm only placing trades based off of what happens and what the best probable scenario is. So right now, if we're at resistance, probably going to come back down to support. And that's exactly what happened. We caught a beautiful trade of 3 risk to reward ratio, catching 8% or 8.5% to the downside. So you would have done absolutely no work, placed this trade, and then woke up today to a very beautiful trade. And this 8.39% really works out to about 25% after our leverage. So for all the traders in the Discord, they would have made an extra 25%. So congrats to all who are making these fantastic trades, because this is just one of many. For the NASDAQ trades, we're currently up about 175% year to date. And for our stock trades, we're currently up 54%. And that's not year to date. That's since June. Can you believe that? Since June. So we are absolutely crushing the market here. If you're interested in getting all these trades and all these exclusive moves, come take a look at that Discord link, wap.com/tmp-finance. You're going to get access to the Discord where I tell you all the trades, take profit, stop loss, percentage risk allocation, and free trades. So from there, you are golden. If you're looking to become a day trader, it's definitely the way to do it there. Let's take a look at another stock that has some very interesting price action here, and this is no other but Eli and Lilly. Eli and Lilly is a all-time high machine, and it is constantly moving up higher and higher, extremely rampantly for years. For years it's been doing this, and we'll zoom in here. Back when we didn't have so much volume, and still it's just ripping up. I am very bullish that Eli and Lilly, after they broke the resistance line here, that they're going to continue to move up and continue moving to these higher highs. So Eli and Lilly, it is an expensive stock, but again, you can't look at the stock price, you gotta look at the percentage that you can earn. So as long as you have money, even for a fractional share, I suggest getting into Eli and Lilly. And this is what your trade's looking like right here. Your take profit is going to be, surprisingly, at all-time highs, because all-time highs are very, very common with Eli and Lilly. Even if you want to close it all the way up here, you can do so. But right now, previous all-time highs is a very safe take profit at 962. Place your trade right outside the breakout over here at $806 a share, and your stop loss, if you want to keep it conservative, you're keeping it at the bottom of the range here, the swing low, or if you want to make it a little bit more risky, get a little bit more out of it, close up that risk to reward ratio, what you could do is just keep your stop loss right below the previous day candle here for a nice 6 risk to reward ratio, or 5.5 risk to reward ratio. We're currently crushing the market. If you are interested in taking all these trades and learning more, learning how to become a better trader, come take a look at that link in the description. But that's going to be it for today. Thank you very much, y'all, and I will see you tomorrow. Later.